What's up, YouTubers? This is Ernie, Blerd Without Fear, and we are going to be finishing up Bats Out of Hell, which is part of the Dark Knight's Metal event going on in DC Rebirth. And in this video, we're going to be going over Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps number 32 and Justice League number 33. But before we get into it, let me know what comics you'd like me to do a video on in the comments. And if this is your first time checking out this channel, consider clicking subscribe so you can become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers and hit that bell button so you can get notifications. When we left off in the last video, Hal Jordan was about to face the Dawnbreaker. When we pick up Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern Corps number 32, that fight is already in full swing. And it ain't really looking too hot for Green Lantern off the bat. Now, with the Dawnbreaker, we know his powers, instead of being derived from light, like a normal Green Lantern's, his comes from darkness. One of the things Dawnbreaker tries to use against Green Lantern is guilt, and trying to use fear, which is kind of a weird thing because, yes, fear is the enemy of will, but one of the things you gotta know about Hal Jordan as a Green Lantern and just as a person, Hal Jordan has been through so much shit that he is completely fearless. Like, the dude is literally fearlessness personified. You know, from losing loved ones to, at times, even having to fight against, like, his own former lover, Star Sapphire, to the events of Blackest Night, the events of Zero Hour, and even more recently in DC Rebirth, forging his own Green Lantern ring out of nothing but his own sheer willpower. Something he wasn't even supposed to be able to do. Something that only the Guardians of Oa were supposed to be able to do. Hal Jordan is capable of the impossible, which is why it comes as no surprise when at one point Hal Jordan says, "Fine, you think I fear you. Even Batman knows better than this. My Batman knows better than to try to do this to me. Because he would know I'm a lot smarter than this, and I'm a lot better than this." He uses his ingenuity to face off against Dawnbreaker and level the playing field, and he starts beating the brakes off of Dawnbreaker. And before Hal Jordan unleashes an ultra combo on Dawnbreaker, Dawnbreaker reveals he's got the big joker. He unleashes Green Lantern's entire rogues gallery in the form of the darkness that he controls. Sinestro, Parallax, Hector Hammond, Atrocitus, Larfleeze, and the Shark, that's a deep cut right there if ever there was one. But Hal Jordan still shows no fear in the face of all this, just says, "Who's first?" Unfortunately for Green Lantern though, the fight does not end well. And he's left battered and bruised and broken and carried off by the Dawnbreaker to be placed upon the tuning fork where the other Nightmare Batmen are hanging up the rest of the Justice League. And when we jump over to Justice League number 33, this one focuses almost entirely on Cyborg, which is something I was kind of pleased to see because I feel like Cyborg has been largely absent from all of Dark Knight's Metal for the most part, and now we know why. You see, Cyborg has been the ace in the hole for the Batman Who Laughs and Barbatos. Cyborg being a byproduct of the Mother Box, you know, the whole fusing of himself with the Mother Box, and the Mother Box still technically being a part of him, made Cyborg invaluable to the Batman Who Laughs and Barbatos' plan. And we know this because we find out that the thing that the Batman Who Laughs wants is Element X, which is supposed to be the most powerful metal in existence in the entire multiverse, dark or otherwise. This kind of goes back to those other metals that we talked about in one of the previous videos when we talked about the mantling process. Element X wasn't included in this because not only is Element X powerful, but it's rare, and it's something that you could really only get from a Mother Box, at least as far as we know. It's more powerful than the Dionysium that's found in the Lazarus Pits. It's more powerful than the Electrum that the Court of Owls uses to regenerate and revive their warriors over the course of generations. It's more powerful than the Promethium that essentially can activate the metagene in human beings, and also is technically what Deathstroke uses as a part of his armor and weapon set. And it's also more powerful than the Nth metal that can grant incredible powers and is technically a staple of Hawkman's mythos. And then my least favorite metal, Batmanium. because it's just dumb. And the reason why the Batman Who Laughs wants this is because the element X inside of Cyborg will grant him access to the entire multiverse. So it's just more worlds for them to infect and destroy as they see fit. But all the while that the Batman Who Laughs is torturing Cyborg, we learn that something has been calling out to Cyborg this whole time. There's something out in the void that's been reaching out to him. And we discover that it's the Mother Box. And the Mother Box tells Cyborg, you're ready. And it opens up the realm of possibility. The Mother Box offers to help Cyborg overcome the Nightmare Batman, to get free, and even grant Cyborg the power to fight back against Barbatos and save the multiverse. Not without a couple of backhanded comments about Cyborg being a glitch and not being necessary, his humanity not being necessary to wield the power that the Mother Box is willing to give him. Essentially what would have to happen is that Cyborg would have to erase himself. He would no longer be Cyborg if he took this power. All this talk about original programming and all that other stuff, what they're talking about is the deleting of Cyborg, not just Cyborg, but Victor Stone himself. And whether you're familiar with Cyborg or not, one of the key things that's always been a staple of his character, especially for the last 10 to 15 years, is the fact that Cyborg desperately holds on to his humanity and the question of whether or not he is human or is he machine. Is he more of one than the other, or is he entirely one or the other? Regardless, the Mother Box finds him completely unnecessary to do this. But all the while that he's hearing out the Mother Box and trying to make a decision over what's at stake, the world, the multiverse, all of creation versus his humanity, all this time he's hearing a voice calling out in the distance, calling his name, not Cyborg, but Victor, trying to tell him that he is more than this, that he doesn't need this power to win. And whoever this is, they call out to him and try to remind him that I am your friend. Cyborg makes a decision that he is not as important as what is at stake, and he gives up himself to take the power. And as soon as he does, everything starts to fall apart. If you've been following my channel for any length of time, especially these Dark Knights Metal videos, one of the key things I constantly bring up is that the Justice League has not once had an actual clear win in this war against the Dark Knights of the multiverse. It all changes here. Cyborg undoes the Alfred protocol that the Murder Machine has been using this whole time. And I also do appreciate the joke that the Batman Who Laughs makes at the Murder Machine's expense, saying they should have picked the Batman who merged with Lex Luthor. Though he does technically kind of cut off before he finishes it, but that's such a Joker moment that it's beautiful. But Cyborg returns, and I'm going to tell you right now, this ain't your daddy's Cyborg. This probably isn't even your Cyborg. To make an even finer point, this is a Cyborg that has been training at 100 times Earth's normal gravity. This is a Cyborg who has unlocked his 100% potential. Like, he even calls out to us saying, I am Cyborg 1 million, baby. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, man, this has actually been one of my favorite moments in DC Rebirth so far. Like, I mean, and especially for Cyborg moments, because I'm sorry, I know I've caught some flack for this on the channel before, but I'm sorry. Cyborg has had a garbage tier comic for a while now, and I feel like of all the members of the Justice League, he has been the one that has been mishandled the most, and it is so nice to finally see him finally getting his props. This is a Cyborg who comes in saying, hey, I'm not here to do it alone though. I am here to do this with my team. And one of the things that the Batman Who Laughs didn't count on is the fact that he's been torturing Cyborg this whole time and constantly reminding Cyborg of his failures. That has come back to bite him, because now not only did he make Cyborg question himself, he helped Cyborg find his confidence through all that pain. And now that Cyborg is reunited with the Justice League, it's over. Or at least it is for now. And I love the fact that, there's these music notes playing the whole time, and they never really tell you what it is. But Cyborg's like, look, I'm blasting my theme music, because we're about to go ham on that ass. And I mean, the fight breaks out, and I mean, it's a thing of beauty. We see all the Dark Knights of the Dark Multiverse going up against the Justice League, and everybody is pretty much just jumping in on whoever they can get their hands on. But I love the fact that Cyborg goes after Murder Machine first. Because he's like, no, not after that ass whooping I took. No. I'm coming to get that ass. And he even unlocks, and I love the fact he calls this his bench, a strong bench. He unlocks Dr. Fate and Deathstroke and Mr. Terrific. Even Kendra Saunders, so Hawkgirl is loose too. And Cyborg also realizes he's forgotten someone. He unshackles Raven. And that's who the voice was that whole time, reaching out to him when he was conflicted over the decision of whether or not to give in to the Mother Box. And she lets him know that if you gave into the Mother Box and gave yourself up, I have no hope left. But Cyborg assures her, even though he did technically give into the Mother Box, he didn't give up all of himself, and he reaches out to her and they share an embrace. And I want to go ahead and tell you right now, this is a very important moment, and you may or may not realize it if you're reading this, because we have to take into account that when the New 52 came into existence, Cyborg's origin was undone. Cyborg was never a Teen Titan. As of the New 52, he became a founding member of the Justice League from day one, which undid the history between Cyborg and the Teen Titans. And it was one of those things that they technically kind of played around with in the animated movies and even some of the other stuff where they kind of hint at the fact that, yes, he was still a Teen Titan, but I mean, if you really go back and look at it, there's no way he could have been if he wasn't Cyborg until Darkseid came into play and immediately became a member of the Justice League at that moment. Like literally, that was when the Justice League was founded as of the New 52. So no Teen Titan history, which means no Raven, no Starfire, no Robin, no history with any of those characters really, outside of him being a member of the Justice League and just interacting with them, just because, hey, they happen to be at the Justice League cookout. This is a moment that kind of undoes that and makes me wonder, what is the future for Cyborg in relations to his past because of this? Because this scene kind of lets you know that him and Raven have a deep, close, personal past that they could have only had he been a member of the Teen Titans. And I love the fact that Cyborg has discovered his strength and also realized his place on the team, realizing what his role should be and what it should have always been, because he technically, I know we always say Batman's the world's greatest detective and he's the smartest guy in the room, but let's be really clear about something. Cyborg, and you can make the argument, is because of the nature of his power set, because he is connected to the vast world of information. That doesn't change the fact that technically he's the smartest man in the room. I would say Batman is the wisest man in the room. Cyborg is the smartest man in the room. Cyborg explains to the Justice League exactly what the Dark Knights are. He breaks them down entirely in ways that the Justice League don't know, but you, the audience, actually knows because you're in on information they didn't have. Cyborg reminds the Justice League that the Dark Knights of the Dark Multiverse are still just Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne can be defeated. Barbatos may have promised you your worlds back if you destroy this one, but the real Batman, the Batman that they know, would know that this is impossible. And Barbatos arrives to try and curtail the Justice League from turning the tide of the battle. But before he can do so, Cyborg gets them the hell out of Dodge. And what he does is he takes them into hypertime. And hypertime is something that I want to say Grant Morrison created back in the day, and it was something that factored really heavily into the Kingdom, which I'm very sketchy on, and I'm not going to try and talk about it because, once again, as I said in one of the previous videos, I generally try not to talk about things I don't know about. If I do a little more reading on it, I'll go back and touch on it. Actually, I won't say if. I likely will. But basically, hypertime is a way for all timelines and the multiverses to coexist at the same time. And when we see this, we see all of these different iterations of the Justice League, of all of the different characters, all of the different team-ups. We get to see everything. All that lost time and and things that were forgotten, things that were undone, all the times that the DC universe was rebooted and redone. We see all of that. Now that the Justice League is regrouped, Cyborg has a plan, and he makes it very clear that his newfound role in all this is to be the head coach, and he immediately enlists Raven's help. This is an interesting moment because a part of me wonders what this is going to bode for the future of Raven in regards to her place in the DC universe. Part of me is kind of holding out hope that maybe she'll graduate up to the Justice League as well. Because when you think about it, they don't really have, at least as far as the core Justice League, they don't really have any magic at their disposal. They don't have anybody who has any real true ties to the supernatural. And I'm gonna go ahead and tell you right now, Raven is the way to do it. But they devise a plan, and they go back to what they were originally trying to do, collecting the Nth Metal, which is the key to stopping Barbatos in the Dark Knights of the multiverse. And Barbatos is pissed because he tells the Batman Who Laughs, you were supposed to have all these scenarios mapped out, and you allowed Cyborg to become this newfound power, and this brings an unknown element into play that we didn't plan for. But the Batman Who Laughs, being who he is, lets them know that they haven't gotten away, because we still have Task Force X, the Suicide Squad, and we still have the Teen Titans. And the Batman Who Laughs makes it clear, the Justice League has always needed a Batman to help them find hope in the darkness, to help them realize victory. And today, he was that Batman for them because he let them believe that they actually had a chance at winning. So all of this was by his design. And apparently, whatever it is that they're doing as far as collecting the Nth Metal goes, somehow they're spreading Barbatos' darkness across the galaxy, and that all roads lead back to Barbatos. As Barbatos has always said, though technically he always says all roads lead to darkness, but you get it. This also makes me wonder if maybe they gave up Raven on purpose, or they did something to Cyborg that's gonna pay dividends in Dark Knight's Metal number 4. It's gonna be really fun to figure this out, and I can't wait for December to get here. I want to say they're dropping that book on the 27th. They pushed it back a whole week. I think it was supposed to come out on the 22nd. Or something like that, but either way, I'm so hyped for this, it is not even funny. Anyways, let me know what you all think about Bats Out of Hell, and what do you think the Batman Who Laughs means by the Justice League spreading the darkness for him? Go ahead and sound off in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, click the like button. And if you want to see more awesome videos like this one, make sure you click subscribe so you can become one of Earth's mightiest subscribers, and hit that bell button so you get everything. Once again, thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll see you next time. Plus Ultra.